Good.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Thank you for obviously taking the time. It's amazing to speak to a world champion at under-23s. Um, I don't know why I looked questioningly. I remember watching the race. You were very emphatically the world champion. Um,
Yeah.
what was that race like? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good race, first off, as far as racing goes, but with a very happy ending. But yeah, no, it was um kind of a massive race for me in terms of like preparation and just the timing. Last year I'm 23 in Scotland, at home, so it kind of, yeah, it meant a lot to kind of do well there. And I yeah, I've been preparing is and almost so long that I kind of didn't have much pressure because I'd done all I knew that I could do for the race.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, it was a good race in the end. What
Yeah, and
about?
obviously, like going into that last lap, I think was it a group of four of you or two of you by then? I can't actually remember fully. I want to say four.
There's three of us going into the last lap.
Ah,
Yeah.
how did it feel? Because obviously at that stage you're like, well, I'm probably guaranteed a medal. Like aside from a mechanical or a crash, like I should be getting a medal here. Did
Mm,
that release the pressure, or did you go, actually, now I've got, I'm guaranteed something. I want to make sure I get the gold from it.
yeah. I think that was my focus the whole race, to be fair, and I would have been a bit gutted if I didn't win at that stage, because if you're going into the last lap in the top three, like you can do it. So I mean, I didn't really feel pressure after the gun went at the start. You kind of, you're so focused on racing and stuff and hitting your lines and positioning that you don't really think about it. So the race went really quickly. Like, I don't really remember much of the first half, just because it was, well, I tried to like split it up at the start, and then it was like the group of four of us, and it's just about kind of saving energy and riding in the group. And then going into that last lap, I wanted to be on the front on the climb. And then, yeah, me and Adrian just sprinted next to each other all the way up that long straight climb, which is a lot steeper than it looks on camera. Um,
Really? Gosh.
and yeah, no, I didn't really feel pressure. I mean, you're so focused on trying to, yeah, that was like where I was going to attack the, I just kind of did it, and then you just like smashing it from there to the finish. So
God. Do you ever like, how conscious are you when you're riding in terms of like, because certainly when I've been riding in races, there's sometimes where I'm like, I'm spotting everything on the side of a road. I'm looking around and kind of, although I'm engaged in the race, I'm noticing other stuff. And then other times I'm like so focused on the race that,
yeah,
there could be a fire next to me. I'd be like, is there? Like, I literally wouldn't have a clue. Like, were you, as I say, were you conscious when you were riding and having lots of thoughts, or was it just almost like a blackout of this is the race, just keep pedaling and smashing it harder?
pretty much, yeah. I don't think I really noticed much else. I didn't even see my family on the side of it. Usually, I can see my friends and family because they're shouting my name. Um, but yeah, no, I couldn't hear it because everybody in the woods was kind of shouting my name. I couldn't tell where my family was, which was quite funny. But yeah, I had the blinders on for that for sure. Um, some races, if you're not doing as well, I would kind of look around a bit and um, notice more stuff. But yeah, no, this time I was fully focused.
Wow. And what was it like to have that home worlds and have that home support?
Yeah, it was pretty unreal because I never have races in my home country anyway. So yeah, the race, especially world champs being at home, was, yeah, it was really cool. It was so relaxed. I was so used to kind of the area, and we were staying just in a nice house down the road with the team, with the Cannondale guys. So yeah, it was super chill. Just, yeah, really enjoyed the week, and yeah, to have friends, family at the race event was really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you do ride for that Cannondale team. Like, do they offer you much by way of support? Because like to do the World Cups, you've got to travel to like Mont Saint Anne in the Canada. you know, races over in America, and I know that previous World Cups have been to like Brazil and things. It's like that's a lot of travel. That's a lot of money to travel as well, because you know flights are not cheap.
Yeah, no, I feel super. Yeah, it feels really special to be on a team like that. They invest a lot of money in us, which is, but also time as well and effort. Like the whole team always puts in so much effort for us, which makes a massive difference to performance, I think. But yeah, no, I'm super lucky to get on. I feel like I jumped from being GB supported and on Scott UK like as an ambassador to straight on like the top level World Cup sport team. I mean, to do that, I had to race elite. They said, "Oh, we want you to race elite World Cups." And at the time, I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." But then, I suppose it's actually been a good move in the end. But yeah, there's a few gambles to take, but yeah, no, it paid off in the end. So, but yeah, the team's insane. The bikes and everything is yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able
that
to
was.
make I wouldn't be able to make it to the America World Cups anyway. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that was going to be a question of like what prompted you to race up, so to speak, this year, and you've kind of answered that in a way that the team just decided, and like, cool.
Yeah.
How have you found that jump though?
Difficult.
Okay.
I think it's difficult whenever you do it. So there's the idea is that so me and the other two boys could be together in the same kind of program at race weekends, so which actually helps quite a lot, because if all three of us are doing the same kind of thing, I don't feel kind of left out a bit. I'm doing my own thing on racing the day before on the short track, and then in the morning. So yeah, I think it was definitely a good move for me, especially because I could drop back down for Under-23 Worlds. I mean, it might not have paid off, which was a gamble, but it did in the end. So that was good. But also, yeah, just to get some experience, to feel like I'm a year ahead of most of the other Under-23 boys now in terms of racing elite, because it is really different. I think the depth of the field is so much higher that whereas in Under-23, if you were kind of not at the front, but you were on the move, you could get through the field quite easily. Whereas in elite, it's difficult, and the pace is so much higher, and they don't slow down. And then just tactics with short track as well. Like, it's easy to win if you have the right tactics, even if you're not the strongest in the race. So, well, not easy, but like short tracks are the hardest races of the weekend. But it is possible to win without being the strongest. So yeah, I've learned a lot about tactics. So
oh, that's good. I love the fact that you call it difficult when I'm like, you've been several top tens. You I know you're around fifth or something in like the last World Cup. It must have been Mont Saint Anne finished the season.
yeah,
like I'm sure you were about fifth or something. I was like, if that's difficult, like what would easy be? Because in comparison, that's like a crazy good result. Like many pros have been, doing it for years. Would love to be like getting top tens.
Yeah, no, that was a cool feeling. I think the seventh in Leo Gang felt more exciting for me. The fifth in Snowshoe was actually insane as well. But when I could attack off the front of the short track, but Mont Saint Anne was a weird one because I wanted a podium, and for some reason in my head I thought I could do it, and then I just messed up my tactics and got eighth, and then I was disappointed with eighth, which was a bit silly now thinking about it, because they just still class.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, short tracks, they just hurt so much because you hit, like, cross country is like intense, but you don't hit your limit straight away. You kind of your first lap is a bit steadier, and then the second lap with the start, you get on the climb, you think, oof, right, here we go. Then you start digging deep. Whereas short track, you dig deep from the instant the gun goes. You just max out sprinting for every corner. Otherwise, someone's going to come up your inside and you're going to drop 10 places. So, yeah, you just hit the red line like instantly, and then it's just holding on for 20 minutes. So it hurts so much, and then you have to do tactics on top of that. So that's why it's difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and that's kind of crazy as well, because like short track is almost harder because it's so intense, and because of the implications. Like if you finish top 8, you get a front row start for the cross country, which means it's easier, or quote unquote easier, like relatively speaking. It's, you don't have to worry about someone in front of you slowing down, because there shouldn't be anyone in front of you. That's kind of
No, the front row helps so much in the main race. I was in Monza and Dan, I was on the front, and then Alan was behind me and Simon was behind Alan. So we all kind of bunched up on the right-hand side, and then I kind of opened the door a bit for them to come through. So we were like all three of us were in the top 5 going up the first climb, which that was a good way to end the season. But yeah.
And how does it feel to race in the national jersey as well? Because you represent Britain by being British champion. Like, does that put a target on your back, and people go, "Oh, he's British champion. He's got to be handy," or do people just go, "Well, it's just a different jersey to look at"?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people, everyone knows each other in the races anyway, irrespective of whether they're British champ or whatever champ. And there are quite a lot of champs, if you know what I mean. So of like different countries. So I think European champs or world champs puts a much bigger target on your back. But yeah, no, it is really cool to represent GB and to race. I've only done one race before, because last year was the first time I won the British champs, because I'd always just hadn't happened somehow. Had never been my day, and then I won last year, and then I only could do one race in the Under-23 champs jersey, so to race all year or the second half of the year in the GB jersey was cool.
Wow.
But people keep mistaking me for the Netherlands champ or
that
French
happens a lot.
Yeah.
They just see those 3 colours and go, that must be Netherlands.
I was riding through a town near Edinburgh called Kirkliston the other day, or back in the summer, and some guy kind of came out of a cafe, like offered to get back on his bike, and he was like, "Oh, bonjour, français." I looked at him and he was like, "Oh, you're a French team?" I was like, no, just British champs. Stripes. Yeah.
It's mad, though. It's like a random bloke in Scotland thinks you're French.
I know, it was brilliant. It made me laugh.
Wow. So. But yeah, like, just to kind of rewind to the start, like, how did you even get into cycling? Because I've heard a little about your journey for earlier on, but like, what got you inspired? How did you get into the sport?
So I've always enjoyed cycling. I think I've been cycling for ages, and then Mum always used to take us out biking with the family and stuff, and then I was more interested in kind of doing jumps and riding off-road just on the road. So I was always doing jumps in the back garden and things. So we've seen an advert for the local club in the paper doing a session on Sundays. So I went along to that Strathern Mountain Bike Club, as it was. Really, really enjoyed it. It was fun racing against all the other boys and things like that. So then, the coach Derek took me to my first kind of Scottish schools cross country race. I think I came third. I had no idea what I was doing, and we're just kind of riding past people the whole time. And then I came third. I was like, oh, this is great fun. So it all kind of started there, and then just year by year went up the categories, and it's nice because the category system in most countries is 2 years. So you're doing well 1 year, and then next year you're kind of with the older boys, and this is really hard, and get to the front, and then the next year you can win some stuff, and then started training properly. Went to a few different clubs called like Stirling Bike Club and things, and then started racing British races. But it's every step up to a different race, the kind of league feels massive. You're like, oh, British races, wow. Whereas now British races are it's nice going back to a British race. So yeah, that was it really.
Wow. And at what point did you go, oh, this could be a career for me, or like this could be how I spend my life? Was that ever, do you even think that yet? Are you still like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm
No,
not that good at
yeah, no,
this
I am
yet?
thinking that now. Yeah. I've always dreamt it. I always remember, I've probably got the magazine somewhere here, but I always remember looking, because I had a Scott Spark back in the day when I was my first bike. I remember looking through the magazine, seeing like photos of Schurter and that, and thinking, wow, that would be cool. And I've always dreamt it, but I never really thought, I was always like, oh, it's not really my time yet. I just need to keep racing and see what happens. So, yeah, and since Junior Worlds, I think I knew I could be up there. And I think if I hadn't won that race, I might not still be racing because of COVID and stuff. And I won Junior Worlds. I was like, oh, I might as well keep going because, yeah. So definitely now I think I am making it as a living, as a career. So if all keeps going well, then hopefully I can keep it up. So
Yeah.
And
was it always XCO that you wanted to do well at, or was, did you ever think of like XCM or even like downhill? Because I noticed the sort of helmet in the background, like downhill enduro style.
downhill up there. I haven't worn that in ages. Last time I wore that properly was at the Zermatt EWS in 2019.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I think, well, I've never really wanted to I never really thought about other cross country disciplines because it wasn't really a option at home, especially when you're younger. You don't really do marathon races. So I've done a bit of everything, to be fair. I've done I used to love downhill as well, so I still do love downhill, but I used to do some mini downhills and lots of little enduros and stuff when I had more time. Yeah, that was great fun. But the thing is, downhill, these days, to do well, you have to, like, it's the level is so high, it just terrifies me, like going down a hill that quick.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like Red Bull did the urban downhill series in that was just like going through people's living rooms in the Brazil and like down all the steps in what looked to be like similar to a favela, but probably not. But like going down all those steps and then someone got it slightly wrong and just it looked brutal. And
it was hard landing. I think I used to love to do downhill, but I'd rather just watch that now. I think because of the commitment you need. And I mean, I would still love to do some enduros, but I did a bit of cyclocross as well, but I wasn't very good at that. And then some road stuff as well. I raced road at the Commonwealth Games, so I've tried a bit of everything other than the velodrome. See.
Yeah, I completely missed that you'd raced road at Commies. That's kind of it's always a very strange race. Is the Commonwealth Games one, just because there's so many, like, I guess, smaller nations doing it, and obviously the UK is split into the different parts, which it just changes the dynamic entirely. And usually it's like if you get in the early break, that's it. You're winning, like, or you're going to make it to the finish. And obviously Scotland got like silver with, was it Finn? Which was really amazing to see.
That was good. That was pretty cool. I think, because there was 5 of us. It was me, Finn, Mark Stewart, Sean Flynn, and oh god, can't remember who else. That's awkward. Anyway,
and the other guy.
No, I can picture him, but
give me a sec. I'll find it on First Cycling. Well,
I'll get it. Or maybe there was only 4. There was only 4 because he crashed on the track.
Anyway. I think I know who you mean now. I just can't. Yeah. Because he crashed with Matt Walls, did he not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was a cool race because we were all kind of fairly strong. So we just sure there's a man or two in every single break, and then once the break goes, we should have a good opportunity of getting a good result. So I attacked on one break, and then when we got caught, everyone came past me like a train, and that was and then I was not chasing this one, and then that was the one that got away. So it always happens. But then I was just kind of marking people, and then it was just up to Finn and Sean to see what they could do. So yeah, no, it was cool. Although like in the main bunch after that, like it was just behind. It was like a train of riders kind of almost chasing, but not really, just setting the pace. Then it was like Isle of Man boys and Cavendish, and then behind Cavendish it was just absolute carnage. Because like all the Rwandans and all the like smaller countries were just like loving riding on Mark's wheels. They were all kind of fighting against each other to stay on Mark's wheel. And then so if you were behind there, like they weren't particularly good at cornering, so they'd kind of go slow around the corner, and then they'd just sprint past back to like max speed, and then come in front of you and just park on Matt's wheel. So I started just riding at the front because I didn't want to crash. But it was a good experience.
Gosh, yeah, that's kind of wild. And obviously for you, you've had worlds in the UK and commies in the UK. Like in terms of major sporting things happening, it's been all right to be British in terms of getting a home race.
Yeah, it's been good for sure.
Yeah. So what's the future hold for you? What are the plans now? I know obviously it's off season at the moment. When do you start getting back into training, and what are you targeting next year?
So I've been on the off season for a while actually, but I think I needed it after such a long season, and I think I'm going to start training again this week actually. So that's after 5 weeks of, I haven't really had a proper kind of nothing like week. I've still just been doing like dog walks with mum, and small bike rides, and bit of trail buildings and e-bike rides and stuff. But get back into training this week, and then back to the usual business really. I think we're going to go to South Africa in January for a big training camp. And then, just got the World Cups and maybe the Olympics.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. It's looking likely. I mean, GB, we've secured 2 spots, I think, pretty much. Fingers crossed. So we're only 12 points off 5th in the world. So for the top 8 get 2 spots, and then the rest you only get 1. So I think, fingers crossed, if we do well early next year as well, we've secured the 2 spots. So, looking like if I get to go to that, that'll be amazing. And I want to win a short track. I think that's possible. And then, some more good results and just get stuck in. No, I know what I'm doing.
It was crazy with the Olympic qualification for Tokyo, because I remember watching some of that on Red Bull, and it was like, I think it ended up being like Vlad Daskelu getting like a top 15 meant that Tom Pidcock could do the Olympics. I was like, it's kind of wild that a completely different rider with no interest from a different nation could have such power in a way.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
This year we've done it a much more conventional way.
It sounds it.
But I mean, Van der Poel managed to get in somehow after all that, the charades at World Champs. But I think because one of the boys got 12th at Worlds, so then they just got enough spots to be. I think they're the best unranked country in Europe.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
We get to go. So lucky him, but
yeah. Wow. Well, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for your time. I'll put a link to your socials in the show notes on YouTube, and enjoy your off season, and I can't wait to see how you get on next season.
Brilliant. Thank you.